Hi everyone and welcome to the Publishing Performance Show. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Carol Kabaale, who's come all the way from South Africa, and we're going to be talking about Facebook ads and Facebook strategies. She's a Facebook ads expert. So Carol, thank you for joining.
No, thank you for having me, Teddy. I'm really excited to be here today.
No problem. You're my second South African, so I'm starting to collect them.
Just infinity stones like Thanos.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Well,
love that.
thanks for joining. So let's start a bit with your background. So how did you get into digital marketing and specializing in Facebook ads in the first place?
So I took a very traditional role in life. My parents were immigrants. So I did everything right or by the book, went to university, got a corporate job, was working for this really nice hospitality chain, and I worked in business development in their corporate side. I loved the people. I just hated what I was doing, if I'm quite honest. I was like, there's got to be more to life than this. And everybody who I saw had a better lifestyle. I wouldn't even say money wise, they just seemed happier or more content, like they had more choice and freedom. They were way older than me. So that was like in my early 20s, and everybody there was like in their 40s, 50s, 60s. And I was like, oh my gosh, do I really have to give up 40 years of my life to get a glimpse of what I actually want? And that thought really, it freaked me out. I was like, no. I can't be doing this. So I thought about, what do I love the most in my current role, in my current job? What do I like? And I came on three things. One, I love helping people. I love being of service. I love that. It's one of my core values. Two, I like being creative. Like, how can I be creative and and three, how can I do this from home? How can I do this not in an office? But that one, the third one was a little bit more flexible. I was flexible to maybe like a better working environment where I wasn't there all the time. Because you see, when you work for hospitality, even if you work in corporate, you work all the holidays and Christmases and Easters when everybody's there. Because, of course, hotels need to run, they never stop. So I was even like, how do I just get a normal 9 to 5? I was even wishing for that. And one of the things I really liked about my job at the time was the data in business development, how we always used to forecast, how we used to plan, how we used to plan our revenue. And I was like, I wonder if there's a way that we can turn that into something, right? So I started looking, and at the time it was really popular to do social media management. So I looked into that, but it didn't feel like a good fit because it felt very superficial and just like, oh, let's create pretty posts and put them out there. And again, there's a lot of strategy with the pretty posts, but that's just how my brain operated. I was like, I don't know. But I thought, what if I look at the ad side? And the ad side really intrigued me because it came with data and decision making, and you would make your decisions based on data, whether the ad performed well or not, regardless of often what the client wanted. So yeah, I went and I found a course, I did my certification, and that was 8 years ago, and we're still here.
So my expertise is more in Amazon ads. So I know a lot about exactly how Amazon ads can help authors, because most authors are selling their books on Amazon, and you're advertising directly to the people who are looking for books. But why are Facebook ads such a powerful tool for authors as well?
Oh, they're a great tool for authors because it's a place where you can build community. And as we know, once a reader interacts with your book or with your product, you want to keep them in your ecosystem. Maybe you want to show them your next book or a previous book. So you really want to build that community. And Facebook and Instagram are great places to do that. And next thing that I really find really interesting about it is that you can collect an email. So whereas maybe perhaps on Amazon, you can't do that. You could build like a landing page and direct them to that to get an email. My thing is this, these platforms are great. It really doesn't matter whether you're on Amazon or TikTok or whatever it is. What matters is that you move them to the second location. The second location is really important because that's where the magic happens. That's where they're in your ecosystem, and that's where you can continue that conversation.
Yeah. So what's your strategy with Facebook ads? Is it so you mentioned it's getting it to the second place. So I'm guessing it's getting it to your website or to your Amazon listing or wherever it is you're selling your books at the moment. So how are you getting people from the Facebook ads to the listing?
So I have three main strategies, if you will, and they're 3 seasons. That's how I like to describe them to my client. Depends on the season that you need, right? most times my clients want to jump to the last one, which is a season of sales. They want money. Yes, they want money. But I very quickly stop them from that. And I like to use this analogy of, let's say Teddy and I, you and I just met today, right? And you proposed to me. I mean, I'm sure you're a great guy. I'm sure you're lovely, but like, I don't know you from a slice of bread. It's going to be quite awkward if we go into this marriage.
I've got a good podcast, so maybe that's
okay. Well, we could do podcasts together. I know that much. Okay. But after that, I don't really know much about you. So if you use that same antidote when you are looking for new readers or you're looking for someone to buy your product, it's the same thing. If they just see you on the shelf, what stops them to being like, okay, let me add this to my cart. Let me buy this actual book. So you need to have a conversation. And that conversation happens in my personal favorite 2 seasons, which is the season of visibility and the season of nurturing. The season of visibility is just that. It's how do we get your content, right, seen by people, not dependent on the algorithm, right? How do we make sure people are actually seeing your content? And the season of nurturing is the one I touched on briefly, which is how do we get an email or start a conversation to lead them away to another community where they can be nurtured and that conversation can continue. So depending on the season you're in will depend the type of ad that you will need to run.
Great. And one of the ad strategies that I've actually used myself on Facebook is to give away a free book as a way of getting people to sign up for your mailing list. Is that something that you've played with?
Yes, that's a great idea. I mean, like, especially if you're launching a book or like you're just starting with the beginning, of course you can give it away for free for a little bit. It's also a great way, like I'm sure you know, to get testimonials, to get those reviews coming in. So yeah, with Facebook, it's really easy to set that up. There's 2 ways you can do it. One, you can use an in form, which is just an ad if you don't have, maybe you don't have a website yet, or, you know, you just want to create a very simple landing page within the app. It has really good conversions. My only thing with that form that personally I don't like about it is that sometimes the quality of the person filling in the form isn't great. So a little trick to that is I always add in qualifying questions so to make it harder for them to fill in that form, because someone who is a real person, not a bot, not someone who's just here for the free stuff, will take the time to actually fill in that form correctly and then submit their information. We want quality leads, not quantity, because I mean, if you have 1,000 bad people, I'd rather have 10 good people who are going to read all your books. So that would be one of the things I would do. And I would do it as a lead magnet, or you could do it as a DM funnel. This strategy is very popular right now. And I'm sure you know it when I outline it. It's more like comment the word blank and I'll send you this.
Yeah.
And then people comment the word, and then all of a sudden you're on Instagram, you get a little message and you continue the conversation. So again, you can either ask for more information or you can directly give them the book there. Yeah. It's a great way to capture leads. Yeah.
Just before we carry on, you've kind of mentioned Facebook and Instagram a couple of times. I know that Instagram is obviously owned by Facebook, but when we're talking about Facebook ads, are we literally talking about Facebook ads, or are we talking about ads for both platforms at the same time?
For both platforms at the same time. So that's one of the reasons I really like it as well. With the same ad spend, you can run ads on both platforms simultaneously, as well as you can run ads on WhatsApp if you have a following there.
Oh, right. Okay. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So WhatsApp is also owned by Meta, and it's another one. So you could literally run campaigns on all 3 platforms.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I've never even received an ad on my WhatsApp, so I didn't know they existed.
They're more like to create a community, or maybe to create a group, or like you'll see someone be like, hey, do you want to continue the conversation within WhatsApp? So you'll see that it will push you to start that conversation in WhatsApp instead of on Messenger or on Instagram DMs.
Right. Okay. Great. Yeah. Now, I know one of the main things with Facebook ads, and you can do this to a certain extent with Amazon, but nowhere near as much, is that you can do quite a lot of targeting. So for a lot of authors, well, firstly, you can just explain what targeting is, but then also how can you help customers, or how can you writers, and authors to find their ideal target audience? Because they could just be guessing what their ideal target audience is and not actually know the answer.
No, that's a brilliant question. So The first targeting is very simple. It's just all the lovely information we willingly give Meta. It's your date of birth. Are you a male? Are you a female? Are you other? Where do you live? Are you married? Are you not? Where do you work? What kind of things do you like? So all that lovely information that you have given over the years to Meta, me as a marketer, I have access to it. And what I can say to Meta or Facebook, I can say like, hey, can you show this book to moms? And it will know, hey, Carol's a mom. Let me show her this ad because it will be good for her. Their algorithm is so like, it's so good that you can literally say, just show it to moms and only moms will see it. Show it to dads, dads will see it. Show it to entrepreneurs with certain job titles. You can go as linear and as niche as you want with that as well. You could be like, I want engineers to see it, or I want people who live in particular states or particular countries to see it and other countries not to see it. If you already know that, your readers need to be in English, maybe you only target English speaking countries. But if you have readers that come from, you want people who speak Spanish or French or something else, then maybe you will target for that as well. The easiest way to do your targeting is to close your eyes. I love this exercise. Just close your eyes for a second. Okay. Picture yourself in the shopping center. Now, while you're there, I want you to find this person. Don't tell me what they look like. Just find them. Where are we going to first? What shop are we going to? Are we going to Lululemon? Are we going to Gucci? Are we going to Starbucks? Where are we finding this person? Are they even at a shopping center? Perhaps they're very active and they're outside in the park doing yoga or running or exercising. Are they driving a certain car? I have a client of mine, Liz. I love her to bits. We laughed about this so much. Most of her clients, the best clients, the people who have done the best with her, all drive a white Tesla. Interesting is that. They all drive a white Tesla. So if you can find little nuances like that in your readers, right? Are they all women? Are they all men? What kind of women? Do they have children? Do they not? Are they busy? Are they exercising? Are they not? Are they eating McDonald's? All these little factors will help. And now you don't have to think of everything or target for everything at once. That's a mistake I see people making. I want you to think of them as different people, different personas or avatars, right? So today we're going to try and talk to Carol. So you think of things that Carol would like. Tomorrow we're going to try and talk to Teddy. And you come up with that audience. It doesn't mean that you are excluding me. I may see an ad that's for Teddy, but I find it interesting because there's things that we overlap in, and then I might convert. But you want to try and be very specific because your audience will dictate your ad creative, your copy, the actual graphics or videos you create, and every other touch point in the funnel, which is super, super important.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So I'm thinking, as an author, what you could do is think about who your ideal reader would be. So I guess it's going to be different for fiction, non-fiction books. Like non-fiction books, I think maybe it's a bit easier because you're thinking the person that's reading, for example, I've got a book here, which is about how to write a sitcom, just something I'm interested in at the moment. So you could find people that would be interested in writing sitcoms by the groups they're interested in or the pages they like. So I think that's a bit easier. Yeah. But maybe with fiction, it's a bit tougher. So how would you create a customer profile, do you think, for the fiction books?
I would think, what people are they following? So like in real life, who do they like? Who do they admire? Are they like an Oprah person? Are they an Obama person? Are they a Beyonce person? Taylor Swift? Think of these people, right? Like you want to create people who are, you can also look at other authors because maybe you guys are in similar genres. Yeah. And because you're in similar genres, you might find maybe you're in the motivational speaking kind of book and you can see the same or similar nuances to someone like Tony Robbins or Mel Robbins or someone like that. Or, you like the teachings of, the universal laws and things like that. So you're like, okay, how can I find those big groups that have to do with my book? That would help.
Right. And when it comes down to the targeting, how granular can you be? Can you literally find, is it other Facebook pages you can target, or is it other groups, or how granular can you be on that level?
You can go as granular as You can't go specific pages, but you could do people, places, locations, job titles, certain income groups in the United States only. You can do lifestyle traits like, are they a frequent traveler? Do they travel internationally? You can do certain brands, again, big or small, like all the way from like Versace to like Starbucks. And you can start building your picture there. What I also find is interesting is like, make little groups of it. So if you know for exactly as an author that they love to read a certain genre and that's written by certain people, see if those people you're able to target for. You cannot target for everything because, you know, iOS 14 came out, and that in a nutshell is just basically lots of privacy laws that came on iPhones to protect our data and things like that, which is all well and great. But it just means that some things that we were able to target for before, we are no longer able to do.
Right. Okay. Great. So once you've thought about who your target audience is, you've created your customer profiles or your reader profiles. What's the best way to start? Are there particular ads that you think that work best for authors? Is there a particular, especially if you're a beginner and you don't know exactly what you're doing, is there a place where you should be starting with your ads?
Yeah, I would start with your waiting list. Start at the beginning. Before you even sell your book, grow that list, grow that community, grow the hype around what your book is about. So one of the things I love to do, like I've done this before with authors, is that we create a whole website around the book. It's a website for the book. It's just for the book. One, it makes you look like a real expert, which is great. I mean, you're not a fake expert, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And two, it makes my life to be able to track the data and where they go a lot clearer, because you can see what pages they're visiting more, what things we can adapt on it. And the wait list is really important because, first of all, you can show it to your warmest audience, which is your email list, which most people have. And in that, you can say, hey, come join this email list for this amazing book that I'm having. And once I launch it, we are going to do XY events to promote it. I want you to be a part of it. So again, capturing emails and making people show up, get hyped, and you're creating part of the promotion. If you don't have an email list, this is a great time to start one. Hey, I have this book. I will give it to you for free when it comes out, if you join this email list. And there's so much content you can create in that launch. You can read from the chapters. You can create funny TikToks. You can have events. I have this one client, Christine. Her book is set up in it's more like a business book. So each chapter is like a different strategy. And she did workshops on each one of her strategies every week. Come join us. Let's do this in action. So it was really fun and interactive, and everybody had the book. So you can make a whole thing out of it. And here's the best part, Teddy. Ads, they're just giant magnifying glasses. They're not scary things. They're not really smart things. I know I probably sound like, oh, Carol knows what she's doing. Yeah, I do. But also, it's not that difficult. They just amplify your message, which is really, really cool. So if you have a great book, a great story, something that the world needs to see, it will just be amplified by the ads.
Yeah, amazing. So building your email list, we've talked about that quite a lot. So is that something you think you can use an ad for? And is that something you should be doing before you create your book?
Yeah, you can definitely. I think it's best if you do it before you create the book. But because you will have people on the wait list, and again, like you said, you could use this strategically for various different outcomes. One, do you want to give it to them for free? Two, do you just want them to get reviews? Do you want them to show up live at an event? And then the book is more like a lead magnet and you're going to sell them something else at the event. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that you can do before the book. But afterwards, it's also great. It's great to position yourself as the expert that you are, as the author that you are. How great is that? You wrote a book. So now you can use this if you were doing like the visibility season or campaign to show that you are that expert, to stay top of mind. And when you want to go to summits or events or things like that, people are like, why does your face look familiar? Oh, because I wrote this book. I've seen an ad for that. Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
Cool. You know, so it's those little things that all help move the needle forward.
Yeah. Nice. And so if people are on a bit of a tighter budget, I know Facebook ads, obviously, can be quite intimidating with how much people might think they cost, especially if indie authors, they've got their first book and they're not sure where it's going yet. Yes. Where's the best place to start with Facebook ads? Are there any particularly cost-effective campaigns that you think people could start with?
Yes. So I would run a retargeting campaign. That's just a fancy word for saying, hey, Facebook, show my ads to people who have already liked, comment, interacted, shared, visited my profile or my website. And that's really nice because these people are already in your ecosystem. They sort of know you a little bit already. So dangling a carrot in front of them to take action should be easier to convert, right? Should be easier than someone who's brand new and doesn't know you. So I would start with that campaign. I always encourage all my clients to start with a testing period of 7 days at about like $20. And you can go lower. If you really are tight for money, you can do like 10. But really, I want you to be realistic about this budget, right? So think of the budget as a screen. If you're spending $20 a day, your budget is probably as big as a cell phone screen. It's quite small, but small but mighty, because we all look at our phones every single day and no one complains, right?
Yeah.
But if you're spending $1,000, your ads are going to be huge billboards. Like everybody's going to see them. Of course, the one that's a billboard is going to attract people faster. So just be mindful of that. And then be realistic with what outcome you want. So if you're looking to grow an email list, look at metrics like your cost per result, like how much does it cost you to run this ad versus getting an email. If you're looking for visibility or just to grow your engagement, then you want to look at other things. How many views are you getting? How many people are you reaching? How many people are commenting and liking and actually engaging? Those two are quite important because people took time out of their day to stop what they're doing and they left you a message. Do you know how rare that is? Like most of us are just scrolling and they left you a comment. Those people are clearly interested. You want to give them attention, right?
Yeah, no, of course. Talking about those metrics that you're just tracking. So what are the main metrics we should be tracking? Because I know Facebook is, if people have looked at Amazon ads before, if you think that's complicated, wait till you have a look at the Facebook one. You know, it can be a bit overwhelming and I totally get that. Do you have any particular metrics you track? And do you have any tools or any simple tricks you use to try and make it a bit more easy to understand the tracker?
So the first thing I do is I don't look at everything. I just don't, because it's, like you said, it's very overwhelming. I go in there with a mission of what am I looking for? One, I want to look that all my ads are still running. There's no errors, nothing's been turned off, there's no funny messages. That's the first thing I always look for. The second thing I always look for is there a current spike? If so, is there a trend in the spike? Whether that is on cost or whether that is on reach, I want to understand why is it spiking? Like, why is, if it's one day, that's fine. But if there is a trend, like over like 3 days, you want to understand why is it doing that, whichever matrix it is. And then lastly, you need to focus on the metrics that go with your objective. So once again, if your objective is sales, you want to look at things like ROI, you want to look at conversions, you want to look at cost per result or how many link clicks you're getting. If you want to look at like nurturing and grabbing and growing an email list, you want to look at cost per results. That's probably the most important. How much does it cost you to get that email? How many people are you reaching? How can we bring this cost per result down? That's probably the most important. And if you are doing more visibility, you're maybe launching, you want everybody to know about your book, you want to look at things like recall rate, which is like how many people saw the ad and can remember what they saw. It's very important because you want them to remember your book, right? And also look at things like your clicks and reach, because besides them looking and seeing the ad on their device, you want people who take action. They move on to, naturally, they want to move on to the next step. Like, where do I get the book? Oh, tell me more about the book. They want to be curious. Those are the people you want to speak to always. So people who click, and if you have link clicks, very good indication that they want more information.
Yeah. Now on your website, you've got a quiz all about helping people to understand whether they need ads in the first place or not. So talk us through this quiz and how it would work for authors.
Oh, it's really fun, guys. It's only like, it really is fun. I have to toot my own horn here because it really is quite fun. It's only about like 3 minutes. It's multiple choice. There's some fun questions there, and it will tell you if you're ready to run Facebook ads or not. If you're not, that's okay. It will direct you to some resources to get you ready. If you are, it will tell you like, hey, this is what you should be doing to run effective ads. So it's a really nice quiz. Like I said, it's only 3 minutes long. I think you should do it before, throw spaghetti at the wall and hope it fits.
And so what sort of outcomes do people expect from it? And after that, what's the best ways of working with you, and how would you help?
So, like I said, step 1 is to take the quiz. I want people to take the quiz because I want to work with people who are ready to run ads and who are at the stage like, hey, I want to amplify something I have going on, right? If you are, and I'm so happy, then we can move on and have a call together to see if we are a good fit. Vibe-wise, I'm very big on that. I just want to make sure that we are both in alignment of what the way forward is. And then, then we would work together usually for your project. And if you can't, then that's okay. I have resources for those that aren't ready, because not everybody should be running ads. I know that sounds very counterproductive to me pitching myself, but not everybody should be running ads. If you're not ready, that's okay. Invest your money on something else.
Yeah, amazing. So if people want to get in touch with you, as well as doing the quiz, we've got carolkabaale.com. Is there any other ways you want people to get in touch with you?
Yes, please. They can just head over to the website. I'm sure it'll be in the show notes. And everywhere on all the social medias, I'm just Carol Kabaale.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining. I've learned loads about Facebook ads. I feel like I'm a bit new to it, so I need to take the quiz and learn a bit more about it myself.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see what results you get.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thanks for coming on the show, and we'll speak again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Publishing Performance podcast. I really hope you found today's episode inspiring. I love chatting to authors, writers, and people in the publishing world. Now, just before we wrap up, let me tell you about Publishing Performance, the #1 platform for authors who want to increase Amazon book sales but are not really sure where to start. Now, this show is all about helping you to sell more books. And if you're looking to boost your publishing game and to maximise your book's potential on Amazon, then Publishing Performance is designed to help authors just like you to grow your readership and to reach a much wider audience. Now, I know that Amazon ads can be slightly complicated, which is why Publishing Performance is like having a personalised ad account manager to create your ad campaigns, to choose your best keywords, and to make adjustments in real time. Now, if you're investing in ads, you really want to make sure that your investment is being used effectively, and Publishing Performance does just that. It aims to make your budget go further, improve your organic rank, and target keywords more effectively. Just go to publishingperformance.com to get started with Amazon ads for just $1.